Tony Khan has implemented a new rule backstage in AEW, and a former world champion is set to make his AEW debut. But first we have the latest from the White Rabbit WWE mystery. Last night WWE would hold the latest edition of Monday Night Raw from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and during the show a QR code would appear on screen, providing fans with the latest clues for the White Rabbit mystery, with many feeling this solidified speculation of it leading to the return of Bray Wyatt. This time around, the QR code would take users to a WWE.com webpage with a TikTok video embedded, hosted on an account named _ComeWithMe. Before we break it down, let's take a quick look at the video in full.
Who killed? You did.
You did.
Feed yours. Head. Eat your head.
Firstly, the title of the website that the QR would take you to reads 9:30YWG, with 9:30 being the date of the next episode of SmackDown on September 30th, whilst YWG is the abbreviation for the airport in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, the location of the show. The video itself features spliced videos of various wrestlers from WWE's past, with the message "Who killed the world? You did," with coordinates appearing in the description. When thrown into a map, the coordinates take you to the location where the giant pink bunny used to be in Italy, which was knitted by a group of artists in 2005. Whilst the bunny has since deteriorated and is no longer there, the outline of it can still be seen, and of course this relates to the White Rabbit. The video ends by showing the numbers 40701, which seems to be the zip code of a town called Corbin in Kentucky, leading many to wonder what the town has to do with the mystery. Whilst some predict that the video could be linked to Baron Corbin, with the town actually jokingly temporarily renaming itself to the city of King Corbin during his heel run under that name in January 2020, leading up to a house show there. However, that does seem unlikely, but there does appear to be some possible relations to prime candidate Bray Wyatt, with there being some very interesting locations in Corbin. Firstly, there is a street named Leona Wyatt Road, and there is also various businesses in the town named Wyatt, including Wyatt Auto Cleaning and Sales, as well as Wyatt Insurance Agency. On top of this, there is also a hotel named Baymont by Wyndham Corbin, of course with Wyndham Rotunda being the real name of Bray Wyatt. Of course, this could all be coincidence, or possibly this is a clue of the return of Bray Wyatt, who may have stumbled across the coincidences during his time in Corbin in January 2020 for the same show that they renamed the town for. On that house show, The Fiend would defeat The Miz in his defense of the WWE Universal title. It's also worth noting that Bray Wyatt's last match before becoming The Fiend was against Baron Corbin, and although this didn't take place in Corbin, this could be perhaps why the Corbin zip code is displayed. Lastly, there is a store called the White Rabbit Records in the town of Corbin, which again is interesting. Of course, this is all just a bunch of possible leads with no solid answer, so make of that what you will. The last clue comes hidden in the source code for the web page that the QR sends you to, with it reading, "No man is ever truly good, no man is ever truly evil." Whilst this is a line from the WWE theme of Aleister Black, we can rule him out of the running as we discuss later in the video. But for now, let's say that this could be a hint to the hurt heel aspects of the Fiend character, text which appears on his glove. But what do you make of the latest clues for the White Rabbit, and what do you think will be revealed at the end of the mystery? Let me know in the comments down below. And next, an AEW star has clarified their status with the company. Over recent weeks, it's been reported that Malachi Black had requested his release from AEW, with sources within the company under the belief that his request was granted. In a recent written statement from Malachi himself, he would address the current situation, confirming that he had asked to leave AEW, although he wouldn't explicitly confirm if his contract had been cut short. He would also detail problems in his personal life that led to his decline of mental health. While taking to Instagram Live last night, Black would outright address the reports, revealing that he is still signed with All Elite Wrestling, with him planning on returning to television after his break. During the stream, Malachi would address claims that his contract is 5 years, something that he denied, although he didn't specify the actual length. For what it's worth though, it was actually AEW president Tony Khan that said Black had almost 5 years left on his deal, this during an interview with Busted Open Radio in July. See, I'm not really sure what's going on there. Black would then reveal that he has received death threats due to recent reports of him getting his release, with him saying, "You know, the worst thing about it is, for the past 3 days, I've been getting hateful comments and today even 2 death threats. Death threats? Death threats. You wish death upon a person because of what someone else had said, and then says that it's confirmed?" He would then point to the original statement from September 18th, saying that he had put the words "release" in quotation marks, adding that this meant it wasn't true. He would then discuss the matter at hand, confirming he will be back, and said, "It's not confirmed. Clearly it's not confirmed. None of it has been confirmed because I haven't left. I've been given time off by Tony Khan to take care of a bunch of stuff. All this stuff was weeks ago. I posted that statement as a summary to understand why I am taking some time off. It is in the statement. It's mind-boggling. I will see you guys in a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months. Like I said, I'm only taking some time off. There's nothing going on. I'm fine. I'm going to be fine. Everything's fine. You'll see me right back in AEW pretty soon. I'm just going to take some time. That's it." The video appears to confirm a recent report from Fightful that AEW and Black had smoothed over their issues before AEW All Out earlier this month. Despite rumours of an Aleister Black return to WWE, it seems he is still very much all elite, with him hopefully returning to full health mentally in the coming weeks or months before a return to television. And next, Tony Khan has implemented a new rule backstage in AEW. As previously discussed, Malachi Black is set to take a break from AEW after his request for a release was seemingly rejected. Prior to his latest statement, it had been reported by numerous outlets that he had hoped to return to WWE, with Fightful noting that he had told at least one person in WWE that he wishes that he was still there. Well, during the newest edition of the Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez would discuss the situation of Black's House of Black teammate Buddy Matthews, who recently announced that he was taking time off to re-collaborate. According to Meltzer, Matthews has a desire to return to WWE, with him saying, "He was on a show in Rhode Island last night and said that he needed to step away and re-collaborate, and even mentioned Malachi Black. It was very similar wording to what Malachi Black said when he did that independent show a week or 2 ago. It's the same situation. How it's being handled and what's gonna happen is up in the air, but he's gone for now." Obviously, like Malachi Black, they both wanted to leave and they want to go to WWE. They're both under long-term contracts and we'll see how this plays out. Since Triple H took over the reins of WWE Creative, they're said to have reached out to numerous AEW wrestlers about a return to the company, with reports of certain names being interested in the jump. With that said, on Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer revealed that Tony Khan will not be releasing anyone, and he would say, "Nobody is getting released, that's the doctrine." Tony Khan made that very clear, I guess, in the last couple of days, so now he, Malachi Black's, not being released. Buddy Matthews is not being released. That's the situation. That is the decision that was made. It's not to say it's hard and fast and there's going to be no way and he'll never give anybody a release, but I think it's pretty much the deal that if this happened in the other company, would people get releases? The answer is no. What happens next remains to be seen, but for what it's worth, Matthews himself would take to Twitter to post the following meme, seemingly calling recent claims fake. So again, keep that in mind when it comes to these reports. And finally, a former world champion is set to make his AEW debut. Last week at AEW Dynamite Grand Slam, Chris Jericho would topple then ROH World Champion Claudio Castagnoli in order to be crowned the new champion, picking up his 8th world title of his career. Well, just over 1 week later, Jericho won't be waiting around to make his first defense, with him set to put his new belt on the line this week on AEW Dynamite. Le Champion will take on the challenge of Bandido, who himself is a former ROH World Champion, with him set to make his All Elite Wrestling debut this Wednesday night. Bandido would defeat Rush for the ROH World title at the Best in the World pay-per-view in July last year, before later dropping it to interim champion Jonathan Gresham in April of this year at Supercard of Honor. Of course, Gresham would then lose the belt to Claudio Castagnoli months later, before he then dropped it to Jericho, which is where we are now. Whilst Bandido has competed for Tony Khan under the ROH banner, this will be his first ever appearance in AEW in the biggest match of his career to date. The Masked Bandit has made a name for himself around the world, wrestling most prominently in the United States and Mexico, working for promotions such as Impact Wrestling, AAA, CMLL, New Japan Pro Wrestling, MLW, and PWG, just to name a few, and is a former PWG and ROH World Champion. Of course, he would also take part in the main event of All In, the predecessor to AEW, teaming with Rey Mysterio and Rey Rey Fenix to take on the Young Bucks and Kota Ibushi, a match which they won. His AEW/ROH contract status remains unclear, but he would be a fantastic pickup were he to get signed to a deal, with him being one of the hottest free agents on the market today. And before you go, make sure you check out the 12 most obscure WWE appearances from AEW wrestlers.